In order to explain the Nazi rise to power, we need to go back to the outcome of World War I, in which Germany, Austria-Hungary, and their allies lost to Great Britain, France, the United States, and their allies. Towards the end of 1918, Germany and its allies emerged beaten and humiliated. The democratic Weimar Republic, established in Germany after the war, was forced to sign the Treaty of Versailles, which imposed reparation payments along with military and political restrictions, while placing the majority of the blame of the war on Germany. Right-wing groups in Germany believed that the defeat was caused due to internal betrayal, and the Republic became identified by them with national failure and Germany's enemies. At the same time, the Republic recognized human and civil rights, and the emancipatory trends of the 19th century continued. For the first time, Germany's Jews received full equality. Many of them were involved in commerce and others integrated into society and assimilated into economic, scientific, cultural, and governmental roles. Germany experienced significant cultural prosperity in many fields. However, the Republic faced numerous difficulties that weakened it. Many of its officials had reservations about the democratic regime and aspired to return to the previous imperial system. These years saw severe political violence, which included coup attempts, such as Hitler's failed putsch in 1923. He was put on trial and sentenced to 5 years in jail, but ended up serving only 9 months in very comfortable conditions, surrounded by his personal assistant and friends. Most of his time in prison was dedicated to writing Mein Kampf, in which he outlined the main principles of Nazi ideology and its worldview. Several economic crises befell the Weimar Republic, the last of which occurred, as elsewhere in the world, in 1929, destabilizing the country and bringing a sense of despair. Against the backdrop of widespread anti-democratic sentiments in Germany, this instability and an extreme economic crisis, anti-democratic parties and factions began to gain popularity, including the Nazi Party under Hitler. Prior to the crisis of 1929, the Nazis' public support was relatively low. In May 1928, they were able to gain only 2.6% of the votes. By contrast, in July 1932, the Nazi Party gained a staggering 37.3% of the votes. Shortly after that, in November 1932, the Nazi Party lost 35 seats, yet still remained the Reichstag's largest party with 196 seats in an election in which a large majority of the German electorate voted for openly anti-democratic parties. Hitler was appointed Chancellor of Germany by President Hindenburg in January of 1933. Having come to power through a democratic process, Hitler dismantled the Weimar Republic and turned Germany into a totalitarian regime in less than 2 years, eliminating political rivals and outlawing any political opposition. At the same time, the Nazis carried into effect the racist ideology, passing anti-Semitic legislation, among them the Nuremberg laws, which deprived the Jews of their employment, civil rights, and property. Anti-Semitic legislation and propaganda were followed by outbursts of violence and the Kristallnacht pogrom of November 1938.